You guys ask the questions, I provide the answers. A few days ago, I made a community post in which I asked my subscribers to ask me a few questions that will be included in an AMA-styled video. And well, that's now. So I chose 20 of those questions, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. The idea was to make this video to celebrate the 400,000 subscriber mark, but we actually flew past that number over the past couple of days and weeks, and now we're almost at 560,000 subscribers. It's crazy stuff. I don't know what's happening either. That actually ties into our first question, which comes from Spider Savior, who says, "How did you get so many subscribers?" I subbed from the GeoGuessr shorts, to be honest. If I'm keeping it real with you guys, there's only one way that I was able to do this. It's called bot accounts. For real though, the actual answer to this is because of YouTube Shorts, and for whatever reason, they're choosing to pick up my videos and push them out into the algorithm, and for that, I'm forever indebted to them, so thank you, YouTube. This next question comes from VI Panda, who says, "Will you make longer videos or GeoGuessr videos again?" If you guys hadn't noticed, in addition to my daily short videos, I also upload long-form videos every other day. A portion of these videos do tend to be the GeoGuessr ones, and as for the rest of them, it's just going to be random stuff that I think's enjoyable. This next question from Jig says, "Hey bro, I'm genuinely curious, of all the places you've been to, which community/culture had the best hospitality?" I think the best hospitality in an international country I got was either Greece or Czechia. If I'm traveling abroad, I like to stay with family sometimes because I feel like you get a good grasp of the culture when you stay with the locals. And when I was staying in Greece and Czechia in particular, the families were just super welcoming. They had a ton of amenities for me and they offered me a ton of food and they were just super cool overall. There's a good amount of anime questions here, so let's answer them. Who's your favorite Attack on Titan character and why? Mine is Armin. I'd say my favorite character in Attack on Titan would be Eren. I think he's a perfect protagonist, and I'm really excited to watch the final season at the end of this year because I think it's going to be one for the books. I won't spoil anything, but I think Eren's development from what he witnessed in episode 1 all the way to where he is now and what he possesses in the final season is unbelievable, and I think it's perfect storytelling. Going off the Attack on Titan theme, we have a question from Shavesh that says, "Where did you get your Mikasa pillow?" A lot of you may not know this, but I do have a body pillow, and it is a Mikasa from Attack on Titan body pillow. I'll show it to you guys. This is it as a front and back, and it's basically just Mikasa in two obviously different outfits. I think I got it from Amazon. I think you could go there and type in Mikasa body pillow cover and it should be one of the first results. I did a stream a couple of months back where my chat basically bought me Amazon items, and this was one of the items that we chose to buy. So now I just have it. I mean, I obviously don't use it much, but it's there. The next question is, how painful is it to constantly get JoJo references? To be honest with you guys, I've actually exhausted all JoJo references already, and that's why there hasn't been a video or a short recently that included any JoJo's content. Like, I'm actually out of references, as crazy as that sounds. But you guys can expect a lot more because part 6 is going to be animated at the end of this year. And I'll do my best to find every single reference in that show. Speaking of JoJo's, we have a comment from Buzz Lightyear that says, "Who's your favorite JoJo character and why is it Robert Speedwagon?" Speedwagon's definitely a high tier character, but I think my favorite character throughout the entire series is Joseph Joestar from part 2. He was good in part 3, but part 2, he was just so witty and so funny. And the fact that he got himself out of so many situations with just Hamon energy is the funniest thing to me. And even when he gets his stand, Hermit Purple is like the most garbage stand. So I just think the fact that he's been able to accomplish so much with so little makes for a really cool character. This next one's a bit more meta. It's from the Vasu podcast, and they ask, "Why did you start making TikTok videos?" So if you guys don't know already, I basically started on TikTok before I came over to YouTube. I created my TikTok account, I think Thanksgiving of 2020. I basically started my TikTok so I could compile clips from my Twitch channel and put them up there as a way to promote my Twitch. So my first couple of TikToks were just direct stream rips, and a few of them gained traction, like the photographic memory one. And then eventually, for the sake of optimization, most of my content ended up being off screen because I was able to edit and make it look a lot better. And yeah, fast forward 10 months and now we're sitting here on YouTube, so pretty crazy. Speaking of TikTok, there's this one comment from Zach Peterson that says, "Daily Dose said you have a photographic memory. If that's true, is there any way to develop one or do you have to be born with it?" So one of the clips that I had mentioned before that I posted to my TikTok that did particularly well last year was me completing the sequential memory test on humanbenchmark.com. Daily Dose of Internet eventually posted this onto their page. And while that was super cool, looking back, it was definitely a point of a lot of contention because then any content I posted in the future, people would misinterpret what I'm doing and then say it's because I have a photographic memory. So it's weirdly become something attached to me that I don't really showcase too much outside of that singular clip. Also, I should note, it's not a photographic memory, it's an eidetic memory, which basically means I just train my memory using mnemonic devices to be quite good. And to be honest with you guys, I think personally anybody can do this if they spend a few months refining their memory and committing to the art of memorization. Will this comment be on the video? Yes. What color is your toothbrush? I think right now I have a black toothbrush. It's one of those charcoal toothbrushes. This next question from Liam Schmalstieg. When did you start playing GeoGuessr? Have you ever physically been to one of the anime locations? I started playing GeoGuessr in January of 2020. It was like one of the first games I ever streamed before it kind of became a trend. And then I dropped it for about a year and I picked it back up in January of 2021, which was still pretty early, but at that point, GeoWizard had already kind of taken over the GeoGuessr market, but not many people were doing it on TikTok at the time, and I just kind of ran with it from there. Ironically, I haven't actually visited any of the anime locations in real life, but I'm going to be in Italy next week, so there's a good chance I run into some IRL JoJo locations, and I'm sure I'll be making some content out of that. So yeah, be ready for that because I think that will be a lot of fun. Hugo Hermes says, what's your main job? Why are you so smart? Thanks, Hugo. I don't think I'm that smart. I'm glad you think I am, but I'm probably just average intelligence. I studied finance and management at NYU Stern School of Business, and then afterwards I went on to work on Wall Street at a bank for a few years. And that was my main job for a while, but now I actually do this as a job, believe it or not, which is crazy to say, but that's life, man. That kind of ties in with this question from Bananamosity, which says, what was life like before you were a YouTuber? That's kind of a crazy question for me to answer because life before being a YouTuber was literally last month. So life is still very much the same. It's just cool now that I have a lot of creative control with what I do and I have a much more flexible schedule, but it also doesn't feel like I work because I'm making content. It's weird. It's so weird. I don't even like answering it. It's so weird. Peter O'Donnell, are you going to rotate the Sambucha sign in the back of your room? Now that I'm bringing attention to this, you'll never look at my room the same, but the Sambucha sign in the corner over there is actually flipped because I actually film flipping the camera horizontally. Very quickly, and for this one frame only, I will change the camera to show the Sambucha sign in the correct orientation. Okay, that's enough. Paul KT asks, what will happen when we go inside a black hole? I mean, the gravity is so strong that not even light can escape, so it's kind of like a one-way ticket to death. So I think the short answer is you'll die, and the long answer is, what does that really mean? The question from TLL Anonymous reads, when did you start learning about places around the world? I'm guessing that's why you're so good at GeoGuessr. So when I was in college, I made it a point to basically learn all of the countries and capitals because there was a lot of people from a ton of different countries coming to the school that I went to. So I wanted to basically be a good, well-rounded person, and if they introduced themselves from another country, I thought it'd be a good way to kind of befriend them by stating, oh, are you from this capital city of the country? So if somebody was like, hey, I'm from Indonesia, I'd be like, oh, are you from Jakarta? And they'd be like, you know Jakarta? And I'm like, yeah. And they automatically like would open up to me. So it was this really weird psychological thing that I just learned that I thought would be beneficial, and it actually ended up proving pretty beneficial, to be honest. So yeah. Top 3 favorite openings. So realistically, all 3 of these are JoJo's openings, but I'll only put one in my top 3 for the sake of diversity. My number 1 favorite opening is probably from JoJo's, and it's Trader's Requiem version 3, I guess. My second favorite opening is from Attack on Titan, and it would probably be My War, the most recent opening. I just think it's so epic, and it kind of fits the tone of the season perfectly. I think my third favorite opening, just because it is so wildly different than what the actual show is about, is from Death Parade. A lot of people haven't watched this anime, but if you were to watch the opening, you would have a very skewed view of what the show is about, and it's nothing like that. And I think that's really cool, so I'd say that's probably my third. Let's do 2 more questions. Do you have any pets? If not, would you like to get one? I do have a pet. He's a Cocker Spaniel named Bruno, and he's my best friend. I'll try and get him real quick. Hold on. Here he is. And this last question comes from Sergio King, who asks, I love watching your videos and all, but for real, did you stage the anime GeoGuessr videos? So I answered that before in a video I had posted a couple of months ago, but I'm happy to answer it again, and so the answer to that would be